Hi guys, it's Punchy, and today I have another build for you that I find pretty fun. It's inspired by a character from My Hero Academia, which definitely is a show that exists. Personally not my favorite manga or anime, but Bakugo is a character which I thought I could remake in Deepwoken. Before starting, I would like to give a big thanks to everybody that supported my previous video on my teleporting heavy build. Super excited that you enjoy that one and expect some more interesting builds soon. Like and subscribe if you want to support me and stay updated with my content. Thanks. Alright, so a little bit of a stat breakdown for this build. As a level 56 Kanor, I specify most of my points into light weapons, Flamecharm, and strength. I have 51 strength, 36 fortitude, 0 agility, 40 intelligence, 0 willpower, 2 charisma, 100 light weapons, and 75 in Flamecharm. This build is a little bit balanced with its stat distribution, and I think it's accurate to the character. I would consider this build as an endgame type of build because it does have a bell as well as an enchant. I'm not gonna lie, my bell is practically useless for this build, and the enchant I'm using is handicapping me hard. But enchants and bells are something you get at the end of the game. When making this character, I had to make it look like Bakugo. As you can see with my insane looking hair, I think I got it down, and I thought that Kanor fit the best visual description of this character. Also, the passive of the Kanor, Loyalty, I think fits thematically. You do less damage to your allies when you hit them, and Bakugo acts like he doesn't like his friends, but he really does care. Visually, I think this is as close as it gets to Bakugo from My Hero. Make sure you pick Flamecharm, obviously, for explosions. Alright, so the goal of this character right off the bat is to get any type of fist combat because we all know that Bakugo likes to throw hands. The guy gets mad over nothing and is most likely a young boy listener. For this build, I was sick of Legion combat, so I chose Fist of Neve this time. Coincidentally, we actually just got a new Master Tier armor that buffs Fist of Neve considerably. All you need to do is transport a Grammarian hostage to the Nomad camp. Anyway, the best way to do this is to head to Fort Merit and bring them back to Etris so you can turn it in. Do whatever you want to do if you want to recreate this build, but I wouldn't sleep on Fist of Neve. After getting Fist, I had just farmed Hive and Pravana for the new weapons that were recently released. Before I decided to use my enchant, I was using the new Cestus, Flamekeeper Cestus. It's one of the best hand weapons you can get as of now, and it's fairly common to pick up. So it would be sad when I had to abandon them later. Let's get into the mantras which characterize this build. Just as a side note, I was using Oathless in order to maximize the amount of mantras I could use. The first mantra I have in my hotbar is Ash Slam. I picked this one up fairly late into the game, around level 45 to 50, and it's better to get it late than never. This move can be unlocked when you have 75 Flamecharm and 40 strength, I believe, but I went for 50 strength just to be certain. This move does quite a bit of damage and applies burns, but it combo starts, combo finishes, and does crazy posture damage, and also has decent knockback. I think Ash Slam is very strong and silly to fight against, so I use it whenever I can in a combo. Blue gem on this just to reduce the ether cost. I had to pick this one up because it is very clearly an explosion, which is Bakugo's whole thing. Secondary move is Fire Blade, which reminds me of a giant compressed explosion. I modded this move to have a massive hitbox, and I use it to apply pressure on block, combo extend, and most importantly, refresh all the cooldowns of my other moves because I put a blessed gem on it. Whenever I hit Fire Blade or Explosion Scythe, as I've named it, I can use all my other moves again. The third move I picked up is Fire Palm. This is probably the only move that I'm using that is unlike a move that Bakugo uses because it has fire instead of an explosion. The entire reason why I have this is so I can hit my enemies and spread flame, so I can proc the effects of Emperor Flame. Just a way for me to prepare an explosion, so that's why I've named it Boom Catalyst. It gets me closer to having an explosive punch. The next move I have is Rising Flame. I couldn't come up with any creative names for this one. This move pretty much brings the enemy up and slams them down for a massive damage impact. Basically a howitzer impact from Bakugo where he smashes down into the enemy and does a giant impact as well. Rising Flame isn't something I use often, but when it lands it procs some of my meteor talents that allow for extra damage on airborne targets. My mobility option is Flame Leap, which is just an exploding jump from My Hero. It can work in combos sometimes to apply fire and send an enemy up, but I use it for mobility most of the time. Good for running, but remember, the lower you are, the less height you'll gain with the jump. The next combat move I have is Flame Blind, which I renamed to Flash Bomb. This is straight up a stun bomb where Bakugo blinds or shoots a blast into somebody's face. When throwing out this flashbang, it blinds the target and it also stuns them. This stun is caused due to a mantra modifier called Concussive Flash that straight up concusses them. Waiver gem on this so it can teleport to the enemy and stun them when close. The last move I've got is Flame Grab or Nitro Grab as I've named it. People say this move is bad, but it allows for weird movement and can catch people off guard more often than you think. Insignia gem on this just so it comes out a little bit faster. I think those are the best fire mantras personally for this build, and they actually fit the theme of close range explosion. My talents carry this build quite a lot, so I'll list all of those that are notable. The talents in the Flame Dancer path also add onto the aggressive playstyle of this build and encapsulate Bakugo being super in your face. Dancing steps move you in the direction you're facing when you use a move and can mess with the timing of players as you apply pressure. Second talent in the Flame Dancer path is Flaming Rebound that just gives you reservoir back for hitting flame mantras. Another talent that is very good for the PvP arena is Hungry Flames. If low on ether and mantra, you will drain your hunger and water and instantly cast any move. Every time you finish a match in PvP, you can regain hunger and water, so you can just play however you like without a care for your mantra cost. The most basic talents that give you benefits from playing normally are just generally what you want to pick. I had to pick up all-consuming flame and corpse explosion in order to blow up people faster on the ground. It's not really that crazy, but I saw the word explode, so you know how to pick it. Explosive finish explodes when hitting somebody on fire with a flourish, and paired with flaming flourish, you can maximize your explosion potential. The main way of causing explosion is through Emperor Flame and by agitating spark. By absorbing 5 flames, you can charge up a flame cloak, and your next attack will be an explosion. This is straight up Bakugo's supernova mode, and it's just another explosion. This is very integral to the explosion build. Overall, pretty good talents, but nothing too rare. If you want to slow it down, I can show you all my talents here. The build I got on this account was Run It Back, which I've gotten 3 times in a row, so I thought I could be lucky and re-roll it. Ended up getting Soul Jar, which just sucks up humanoid souls and shoots them out in a compressed blast. Can't really use this often in combat and even PvP, so I'm just gonna ignore it. The equipment I'm using consists of the new Nevaeh Warchief armor and some cool looking new cosmetics that have some decent health. Warchief armor is great and makes Fists of Nevaeh quite viable by making Nevaeh light attacks do 15% more armor penetration. The weapon I'm using with the enchant is, you guessed it, Detonation enchant, but it's unfortunately on Iron Cestus. The damage difference from Flamekeepers on Iron Cestus is quite huge, and Detonation is also underwhelming, but for this build I must do it. Detonation stacks up after you hit 7 attacks, and the next one will be an undodgeable explosion on hit. Anyways, this was the best I could get. Shout out to Rejectio who gave me these since their value was so low. Anyway, I'm not the best for this build just yet, but check out some fights if you think you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe for similar content to this. Have a good day.